What's going on, everybody? We have a lot to talk about today, from Fallout 76's beta game-ending glitch to a fully released lineup for the PlayStation Classic and everything about Red Dead Redemption 2 as possible. So welcome back to yet another edition of Press Start News Roundup. As always, my name's Jake, so let's get this thing started. The 2018 Golden Joystick Awards are coming up on November 16th, and there are many categories for your favorite games to try and get recognized in, with a few esports awards for the best esports game of the year and esports team of the year, personal awards for separate consoles to celebrate their best exclusive titles is out there as well, plus awards that celebrate storytelling, visuals, audio, and so much more like that. However, the biggest award to attain in the joysticks is the Ultimate Game of the Year. And this year they've done something different with the voting. All the regular voting for all categories outside of Ultimate Game finish on October 25th, but Ultimate Game of the Year does not open until after that first series of voting is finished. That's so titles that come out later in the year, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2, have a chance to be part of the voting. Some of the best contenders for the awards, besides the two aforementioned titles, would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Fortnite, God of War, and Marvel's Spider-Man. Once their contract ends with Netflix, Disney is going to be getting their hands in on the streaming service world we currently live in. All of your favorite Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars movies and shows will be moving to their new service. While this isn't going to be occurring until late 2019, there is already some talk about new shows they're going to be making for it. A potential Winter Soldier and Falcon TV show is to be made, as well as another series for the Scarlet Witch, which will also be a dual star with Vision in it as well. To be honest, not a lot is really set in stone for these shows, but they are said to have some really large budgets, so it's no surprise though, because Disney has out to create more Marvel content, especially with the recent canceling of Iron Fist and Luke Cage. We'll be sure to talk about this more as more information comes out, so be sure to keep checking back for more here at the Press Start News Roundup. Fallout 76 beta started this week, and many players were frustrated with how the game played. Actually, many didn't get to play it for long because a glitch with it caused the entire 50GB beta to be deleted once you started. While this was just for some players on the PC, the reason for it happening was still a little confusing. Some people said they were experiencing it from clicking a single button on the client. Some said that as long as it was open, it was happening. Sometimes it happened as it was finishing downloading, and not many were really sure what happened. Bethesda has had many issues for the beta releases, but by a whole, this is definitely the biggest, with the whole game deleting itself. The official lineup for the PlayStation Classic has been released. While many fans were hoping for a plethora of Final Fantasy, Castlevania, Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Resident Evil, and every other popular title during its original run, Sony has put out a fairly well-rounded set of titles for the Classic. Well, at least some would say that. While we knew titles like Final Fantasy VII and Wild Arms were going to be on it, bigger titles like Metal Gear Solid, Siphon Filter, and Rainbow Six and the original Grand Theft Auto will be featured. Surprisingly, not a single Crash Bandicoot or Castlevania game made the cut. This may be due to licensing issues and with other games getting HD remasters in the last year. But maybe some of these franchises will get recognition if Sony does a PlayStation 2 Classic. But the Press Start crew will also be having a discussion on the lineup, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Red Dead Redemption 2 has set a record with its recent release. In the first 3 days of it being out, it amassed over $725 million in profits. To help put that into perspective how much money that is, the hit movie franchise Avengers Infinity War only in its opening weekend had $640 million, and that's the best opening weekend for a movie ever. The only game that has made more than that in its first 3 days is a game also made by Rockstar, which is Grand Theft Auto V, which amassed $1 billion. But it came out on a Tuesday, so that stretch of Tuesday through Friday gives it a 3-day record of all time, but Red Dead Redemption 2 has the 3-day record for a weekend. With Rockstar having two solid games that have both records for sales in their first 3 days, is it the style of the games that make them so popular, or is it the fact that these new additions to the series don't come out very often? Whatever the reason may be, these games are a lot of fun and are probably going to keep setting records. As a new month comes in, so do more and more games. Here are the November titles to look out for this month. November 13th will feature Hitman 2 and the Spyro Reignited trilogy. We'll get a beautiful remaster of the first 3 Spyro titles, much like that of the Crash Bandicoot trilogy we saw come out within the last year. And Hitman 2 will continue the action of Assassin Agent 47 and should be interesting as the series has switched its original publishers. The next day we will be getting the official release of Fallout 76, which is reportedly 4 times larger than the map for Fallout 4. Plus, it has a huge shared world environment where you don't have to play with others, but they're going to be out there doing all the same things you're doing, gathering resources, and killing beasts just like you would in any other time. But the last big game to look at for this month is Battlefield 5. This new addition in the series is taking us back to World War II, packed with many different multiplayer skirmishes featuring infantry, tanks, and aircraft galore, and you can look forward to that on November 20th. But that'll just about do it for this news this week. But as always, we want to hear from you. What do you think is going to win the Ultimate Game of the Year? And what game are you most excited to come out for this month? Be sure to let us all know on our social media at Press Start IUP TV. And as always, my name is Jake, and this has been your Press Start News Roundup. See ya.